Hey everyone,
7 p.m.
7
Well, ish.
We're here every week. We're in lockdown. So,
yeah. And maybe beyond, not just lockdown, maybe beyond.
Oh, well, that's what I was just about to say. We're going to say, we've already spoke about it, haven't we? Monday, 7 o'clock is going to be our time.
Yes. Yes.
So, as always, I'm going to just do like the housekeeping and say, if you want to subscribe to both channels, if you want to share this, so just click the share button. Make sure you get the comments in, asking as many questions as possible. And I'm going to leave you with Ian to introduce.
All right. That's quick as that. That's a really quick one. So, okay.
Quicker than today.
Yes, quicker than today. Yeah, that's good. You're in that type of mood. That's good. So this is really interesting, actually, because tonight we've got a great guest on. And actually, I've only connected with her through social media on like Instagram and Facebook. She is part of the worldwide Joico family, somebody that we've like grown to love and somebody I've got to know through social media, but that's the only way. This is my first time to actually speak live, and she's coming to us from LA, so she's always a sunny disposition. She has this wonderful bright smile, which you're about to see. Her name is Jill Buck. She works at 901 Salon, which is a really renowned LA-based salon. She's going to tell us all about that. She's also a celebrity stylist. She has a list of celebrities as long as your arm. So we are really excited. It's my first time to meet her, and I know it's Paul's first time to meet her, although he's been fanboying on her for about a couple of years. So this is all new. So let's bring on Jill Buck.
Hi, Jill.
Hi, guys.
So I always ask, was that a good intro?
That was a great intro. Thank you. So kind, so sweet, you guys. I'm so excited to be here. This is so fun.
Cool, big fans. I mean, I was saying just before we came on live, I've been a fan of 901 for like ever. I just loved like the brand and taking inspo from it as a young stylist, and just like the culture within there. But I'll let you tell us a bit more.
Yes. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been 10 years now, which is just crazy. I can't even believe the brand has been going that long now. So Rihanna Capri and Nikki Lee are owners of the salon. I went to beauty school with Rihanna a long time ago in Las Vegas, actually, of all places. And the funniest thing about all of this is all through beauty school, you know, I'm sure most of you guys, you had to make like a business plan as if you're going to own a salon one day. And Rihanna was like, can I have your business plan? I am never going to own a salon. Like, that's so much work. She's like, I just want to do celebrities and that's it. She's like, I don't want the headache of that. I'm like, sure, here you go. Right. So we always just joke about that. And then she, you know, ended up opening the salon with Nikki, and it's been amazing. It's been so cool to see the brand grow. And I think the biggest thing, honestly, is it's pretty real. You know, we're pretty down to earth. Yes, we do celebrities, and yes, we're on, you know, Melrose Place and Santa Monica Boulevard and all of that. But I would say that all of my quote unquote normal clients, right, non-celebrity based, they all feel so welcome, like all the time. It's chill. So
yeah, you get that vibe from like the online presence as well. I think that's why I really sort of connected with it, because you get that vibe. It doesn't look very like really pretentious or anything like that.
Totally.
Or really, it just looks really, really cool and laid back.
Totally. Yeah. And that is definitely a huge goal. Just recently, I don't know if anyone has seen on Instagram, but we just had our first week open. We are back to our original location, which is on Santa Monica Boulevard and Westbourne. So we are about, I don't even know, 4 minutes from our spot on Melrose. We decided to close Melrose. And this actually was in the works before all of the COVID, all the quarantine and all of that. We just felt like the brand itself, as much as we loved our space on Melrose, it was very big. And we felt like our family was kind of getting spread apart. It didn't feel like as homey, as boutique, as family oriented. So kind of as a collective whole, the stylists, we all kind of felt like, let's go back to our roots. So we're back now at our original location. We call it the Castle. It's all been remodeled. It's beautiful.
Cool.
And yeah, it's been really good. It's been great.
So how long have you been?
Link so people can check it out.
So how long has the 901 been like in existence? When did it all begin?
So 10 years.
Oh wow!
10 years, yeah. We've been a brand for 10 years, and we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in September. We threw a huge party and invited all of our clients, our guests, brands that support us, all of that. So it was awesome.
So the question is, are you going to have an 11-year party? Because now we'd have to come.
1,000%. You guys are always welcome. Absolutely.
We're there.
So yeah. Jill, was that the 901 salon wasn't the first salon you worked in, right?
No, it was not. Yeah. So after beauty school, we were in Vegas. Rihanna and I were, she was in Vegas 2 years. I was there for 3 years. I went back to Oregon, where I'm from, and I opened a salon there. I didn't own the salon, but I was like the lead stylist at the time. So I helped open that one. It was about a 15-chair salon, actually very similar to the 901 branding and all of that. I got married, I had kids, and I was still in my 20s at that point. And I was like, I think I'm ready for the next thing. Had kind of done that. And of course, Rihanna, ever since beauty school, is like, when are you moving to LA? When are you moving to LA? And my husband and I were just kind of like, the kids are young, let's go for it. So then we found ourselves down here. We've been down here now for 8 years. And it's been great. Just trucking along.
How does it compare being in LA from like hometown Oregon? How does that compare?
It is night and day. I'm from a small town. I grew up on a farm, but I was always, for whatever reason, so drawn to traveling. So I've been traveling, since elementary school, middle school, going out of the country. So to move to the city wasn't like difficult in the sense of like I wasn't nervous to or scared to or anything like that. But as far as working as a whole, there's a whole other system working in the city. Right. If you want to be in celebrity work, then you get into having an agent. You have to always have portfolio work and just be able to move out of just working behind the chair. It's a lot of house calls that I do. I service clients at their homes, almost half time, actually. I'm in the salon 2 days a week, and then the rest of the week is all I'm servicing guests at their house. Yeah.
Okay. That's a whole different culture to here. Well, it does happen similar, but not on the scale that you're talking about. So you mentioned that you get with an agency, you have a portfolio and stuff like that. So that's like a decision. I'm going to go down this route, and I'm going to celebrity, or I'm going to go into the high end or whatever.
Sure.
What took you that way, and then how easy was it for you to break into it, and what was your big break?
Yeah, good question. So I think I'm just one of those individuals that with my career as a whole, I felt like it isn't, to me, hairdressing wasn't one thing. So even though I had done, hair in Las Vegas, and then I went back home, I really just like my job to ever be evolving. So I think it was about after only 2 years probably of doing hair here behind the chair, I was like, I got to get on set. If I'm in LA and there's the opportunity to be working on TV shows and movies and flying all over the country with my clients, I'm like, I want in. Yeah. So I kind of like, originally, I've always kind of been drawn to styling for whatever reason. So I had a lot of that work on my Instagram. And then I just started taking meetings with different agencies. So as you're here and you make connections, different PR people, they kind of will link you up, you get meetings, and then you show them your work, and then you kind of just go for it. A lot of free jobs in the beginning. Honestly, it's a lot of, you have to be a yes person. You have to, and it could be, hey, Jill, it's at 6 o'clock. Can you get to Beverly Hills? I'm like, yes. You have to figure it out, and you have to do it. You have to be available. But it gave like a new element of like a thrill to the job that I love so much. And for me, I get to see my clients, my everyday people at the salon, and then I get to go out and meet new people every single week.
Cool.
So I love that part of it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's one of the things that people watching will want to know. So Ian touched on that we have a similar sort of thing in the UK. We were talking about this before you joined us backstage. And UK, we don't really have big A-lists, or maybe because they're from the UK, maybe we're a little bit, we look at America as like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like A-list. And to get an agent is something that interests a lot of people. They don't like what you just touched on with the work. You have to say yes, you have to do it. You have to do it for free at the beginning. And that's something that we all do. I mean, when anybody asks me a question, it's like, how did you get to where you are with Joico? Sure. I said yes to literally everybody until I got there.
Yeah, totally.
But with like the celebrity culture and the agency, that's definitely something that people in the UK would love to be represented by, like the Wall Group. Like that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, Wall Group is.
And then you've got, how do you get into doing celebrities? So like you touched on it, but could you like give us a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually, with the agency I'm with, Exclusive Artist Management, we have offices in New York and LA, actually. And sometimes my jobs can be out of the country, even though it's coming from the States. So I think it's very possible, especially now in today's day and age with the communication and being able to share your work. We're all kind of like a flight away from each other, you know? So I would say the same exact thing. You take meetings with those clients or with those agencies, be willing to fly here, meet those agents in person, and there's press all over the world. So let's say I have I'm doing a press tour with Paramount, for example. Every now and then Paramount will have a budget where, yes, they'll fly me out of the country, and every now and then they don't. So then they're going to tap into their other stylists out of the country. And so they need people all over the world. So it's not just, you don't have to just be LA based, but it is definitely about getting your work out there as much as you can. If it's anything from a wedding to a photo shoot that you cultivate and you put on so you can show your work, it's very important to first do that, get their attention, and then you can kind of go where you're located, you know, and say, hey, if something's coming through the UK, then to ask you guys to do the jobs, you know?
Yeah.
So is there a big culture of like NDAs? Do you have a lot of that, or with some of your clients? Yes.
Usually anytime you work with a celebrity for the first time, you absolutely have that. Very rarely do we not. It just because at this day and age, like paparazzi is a legal thing, you know? So it's very difficult. And I think that's probably why 50% of my work is at my client's home, to be honest. You know, it's like not everyone comes into the salon all done up and ready to go. Sometimes you want to be able to come in and relax and not feel like you're going to get your photograph taken, you know?
Yeah.
So
is that still a big thrill for you though, getting called up to do something, or do you just now look at it that it's just another client, or it's just, you know, because I you know, like I got a vibe from you anyway. I don't think you treat anybody, whether they are a non-celebrity or a celebrity, I don't think you treat them any different.
No,
you've got that kind of, that's who it is, and I just do my thing. So, but do you get excited? Do you get excited about it more, or how do you treat it?
I first like have a panic attack and I question, can I do this? I don't know. I mean, regardless if it is a celebrity or a new bleach in town, for example, at the salon, my heart's racing. I'm like, okay, I got this, you know? So I know I treat everything the same, because at the end of the day, it's the client that we're working on, but if I can't make the hair pretty, it doesn't matter who they are, they're going to be happy, you know? So absolutely. And then, you know, definitely working with celebrities specifically, I usually always ask my agent, I'll be like, hey, what's their reputation? You know, how do they treat their beauty squad? Like, cause you know, it happens. Like, let's be real. It happens. So I always get a little bit of a gauge. I myself, if someone does have a bad reputation, I pass it on. I kind of choose to be, I want to be around happy people.
Yeah.
You know, I want everything to stay as positive as possible. So, and that's how I feel like I can kind of control my environment as well, you know? So
yeah, that's really important, I think, just for your well-being, your own mental well-being, I suppose.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we just spoke a little bit earlier before we came on, and I know you're a mum and you have two boys, they're 10 and 12, right?
Yes.
So how grounded does that then keep you? You know, you've got a husband, 2 children, you got a life outside of the salon and an outside celebrity. So how grounding is that for you? How does it work for you?
I mean, it definitely, I think that is the perfect word for it. It keeps me very grounded. I mean, my 12-year-old, he's 12 and a half, you know, and if I ever have Instagram up or anything, it is an instant, oh, you think you're so cool, Mom. Look at you, Mom, you know? And so it's just like the fastest reality check of like, and I'll be like, you guys, look at, my work is on the cover of People. And they're like, woo, who cares? You know, so it's like, it is beyond grounding. And I'm always like, okay, they're kind of right. I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm glad I did it. I'm so grateful for it, but they're right, you know? So
yeah.
It is, and people ask me all the time, they're like, are you going to try to have a girl? I'm like, no. If I get this much hate from my boys, like, no.
Yeah, I've got 2 boys of my own.
Yeah.
One's grown up. He's like he'll become 20 soon, and my other one, he's 10, and then I've got 2 stepchildren as well. Yeah. And one is 6, one's 4, and man, it's like, you know, you can go out and do like a great job, or I do a photo shoot or something, or I do a job with Joy, or I maybe fly to God knows in Europe somewhere, and then I'll come home like I've just nailed it. I've been up there, I've done my platform bit,
so proud.
And then you've got a nappy to change. Like,
yes, exactly.
As you come home, you know. So it's really just like, you're back home, and that's where it's at. And I love the fact that it's 2 separate parts of my life, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and my boys have been so fortunate too. They've been able to come like 2 different places out of the country with me so far on jobs, and they've been able to go do a job with ABC Disney at Disney World twice.
Wow.
Like they're
love that.
spoiled beyond, you know, and it's just then like I feel so grateful that I can then mix my family life with my work life too. It's a big reason why I went into doing hair. You know, I knew I wanted to be a mom at some point, and I wanted to travel, have flexibility. So it is very grounding, but so rewarding all at the same time.
So who was the first so-called like celebrity, the biggie that you really thought, right, I've arrived? Who's the first person you did that you felt, okay, I'm on the path?
So it's interesting. I don't think I realized that it made any difference actually until my name went into press. Once I started seeing my name in a magazine, or then someone would see my name in a magazine, you know, all the credits, or I'm quoted for a product use or something like that, I think that is more when it hit me, because the celebrity work is always so private. I want to say literally one of my first celebrities I ever did here was Selena Gomez. And that's a pretty big one for like your first. Yeah. And I literally had hardly even been here. And Rihanna was like, hey, she needs a blowout. Can you get that done? And she lived not far from me. So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So, but no one sees it or knows it. And so then I don't think it honestly hit me until later. And then a lot of these girls, they're my friends now. So it's like on Sunday, we're hanging out at the pool together. So it just is, it doesn't feel like, something about like doing their hair is a little downplayed now in my life versus like the press or an interview or something like that feels like, oh, this is about me kind of a thing. So it, you know, feels more accomplished, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's that thing when, like you said, when you see it in press and it's real and it's existing, as opposed to, well, I've done it and now there's no record of it other than my memory.
Yes, exactly. And I would say I have a good handful of celebrities that it's that way, because you're not necessarily doing their hair for a red carpet. Like that's when you get the recognition. Yeah. But a lot of times it's been, and some of my like favorite ones that I've been like so excited to do have been in private, you know? So
what would that be for? Would that just be basically they're going shopping and they want to blow out, or?
Totally. It can be different. So for some of them, it'll be, Yeah, they're traveling, so they know that unfortunately for them, they have to get ready because they're gonna get paparazzi. So it can be headed to the airport. It can be maybe they have like an interview the next day, or they have stuff like this, you know, where they have to stream in for certain things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're getting their extensions removed. They're getting a keratin treatment, just things, you know, their color done just for life, not for necessarily one specific thing. Like usually if we're doing a color, it's really only like a big color change that will get press.
Yeah.
Or if I switch hair for like a TV role or something. But other than that, it's hair maintenance. It's weird to be put in the press. Like Julianne Hough got her highlights retouched. You know, it's like that didn't really happen. So
yeah. No, that is when we see it. And that's where we sort of draw like, oh my God, like I want to do that, because you end up in like all the magazines, or you end up getting sort of packed. Like one of the biggest in America at the minute, Chris Appleton. He's from up the road from me.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, and he was he's doing incredible now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you see him like just holding J-Lo's hair at the Super Bowl.
I know. It's that is so awesome to see. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's so much like we say this all the time, that you can teach anyone to do hair, but you can't teach someone how to be a good person. Yeah. And so our thing is so much like, I think there's a statistic that it's like 80% is your personality, 20% is your technique, right? But it's so true that a lot of these people, it's connections, and then it's how you are, you know, your chemistry together, and that's what, you know, takes you down the journey with them. So, I mean, Chris has been doing J-Lo's hair for years now, which is just so awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty good. Like I've had the same thing. Like I said, going back to what you're saying, is that some of the jobs you don't get credit on it. You just done the job. And I live in Wales, which is a small country, but we've got some big performance venues here. Sure. So literally, like back in the day, there was or not so much back in the day. It still happens now. Actually, I'll get a call from one of the venues or a manager and says, "Right, no, my client has to be at such and such performance this evening. Apparently you're the guy to go to. Can you come to the hotel and you end up going, and what I've sort of come across is it seems that the bigger the name, the nicer they tend to be.
Sure. Okay.
The more down they are the scale, the more difficult they are.
Sure.
And I'm like, I just don't get that. I kind of we did the MOBO Awards, the Music of Black Origin when it was in the UK, and I remember I was in the green room and being asked, "Oh, can you come backstage? Or can you go this guy? Can you go to a room? We need to look after the guest, and we can't tell you who it is." So just got my kit and was walking down the corridor, and I was with the publicist or whatever, and he's like, "Do not ask any questions. Do not ask for pictures." This was in the day before mobile phones, so I didn't have I had a mobile phone, but not when they could take pictures, you know. This is it was like probably 97, 96, 97. And he said, "So we're going here." So, you know, like it was almost like don't have eye contact with this person.
Right.
And I went in and I went into the room and it was Lionel Richie.
Oh,
and I was like, wow, okay. And so he said, "Oh, hi, you know, I just need a shave."
Yeah.
Do you shave? I was like, and I had my wash kit with me. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. You know.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So I did it. I just give him like a clean up and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was so nice because before I said, he says, "Hey," he said, "Would you like some tea? You British like tea, right? Would you like some tea?" I was like, "Yeah, I love some tea." So we had tea. And at the end, I just couldn't. The publicist was, I just chatted, and he was really friendly. And I said, "Oh, is there any chance I can get a picture?" Because I had like one of these portable phones, and these portable like disposable cameras.
Totally.
And he was like, "Yeah, man, come on, come here." And he said to the publicist, "Take this picture." I was like,
"Yeah."
And that was really, really cool. It was like, and things like that. when you were in the green room, the people who kind of were the lower, or they were new to the scene, or they just didn't have the reputation of the big guys, they were more difficult to deal with. But some of them were just like, and like now, same thing. I come home and I say to my parent, "Oh my God, I've done XYZ person's hair for that show or for this," and but you're home and it's kind of like it's gone. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because it's not impressed. It's not with. But it does happen. So I get those type of things.
Yeah.
But it's a fun world. But the thing I want to get you onto is we're all part of the Joico worldwide family.
Yeah.
And I think throughout this lockdown, it's got closer. I thought the US and Europe have got closer. We are building bridges, Paul and I, with everybody we know through the team. So where does your love affair start with it? What's your passion about Joy? Why Joico? You could have any brand you want. Why did you choose to be an ambassador? Why did you choose to represent the brand?
I love this question. It is the people, like full on the people. You know, the whole reason I even got connected with Joico is I randomly 2 years ago, I think it was like 2.5 years ago, I was like, I'm going to take my hair pink. And I was kind of looking through different products, like what to use. And someone was like, try the Joico stuff. And I was like, cool. Went pink, got obsessed, love it. And then ever since, it was like Valerie started reaching out to me, one of the, and Brandon and everything. And they're like, hey, would you want to do a video on your pink hair? Would you want to do this? Would you want to do that? And just after building a relationship with these people, I mean, I've never had a brand be so supportive and so dedicated to like my personal work. And I love that they really are going after artists. Like they want me because I'm different than Gina, or they want Gina because she's different than Olivia and Larissa. Everyone can bring such a different artistic approach to something as simple as pink hair, right? Or as a highlight or whatever it is. And they want to highlight that so much. They really push people. And I love that. I love that they're supporting an individual. And then in turn, then I feel like I can go out and support individuals. They kind of give us that platform. They were, before all of COVID stuff, I mean, I was supposed to be in, I don't even know how many cities throughout the whole year. And I was so excited to go connect with all those people and offer whatever I have learned from the space that I live and work and take it to, I was going to Connecticut and Boston and like all these cool places. So they are very family oriented, and they're about people and not just about money and sales. And then, I mean, obviously on top of it, their product's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything. It's healthy hair. It's not about just, what it looks like in a photo. It's like, how are our clients going to maintain this at home? They're just smart. They're very, very smart branding for sure.
Yeah, there's something. Sorry, Paul. There's something I was. I think maybe 10 years ago in the industry, you'd have like somebody in your position then who deals with celebrities, who has a salon in a really, really prime location.
Yeah,
they were like given products and then given money to say things about the product.
Yes,
and I think that very slowly that became really inauthentic.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, because that person might turn up in another year talking about another brand.
Yeah.
It seems that Joico are really the brand that want the people to love it. If you love it, we will love you and we'll help you grow.
Yeah.
But if you don't like it, fine. It doesn't matter. You can go find the brand that you're going to fall in love with.
Yeah.
But everybody we speak to, and like Paul and I, we work together quite a lot, and we've traveled together, and we're always blown away by the way we are treated and how lucky we are, and to be in with the brand. But I think that it works both ways because we both totally love the brand.
Totally, yeah.
It's like unquestionable stuff. So it's like non-negotiable. That's my brand, and I don't care what happens. I'm sticking with this brand. Absolutely. And I think if some brand came to me with really big money and said, "Oh, can we represent us?" Not that they would, but if they ever did,
Sure.
I just don't think I could, because I have so many connections with Joico and the people in it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime they like provide training for us or anything like that about the product itself, they literally fly their research and development team from, actually, I'm not quite sure what they're from. They're not from the States. They fly them here so that they are there to answer like specific questions for us. They teach us the smallest things sometimes, and then they teach us how developer actually, like, what is actually doing, how is it working, and why if you don't use it that way it doesn't work, and all these types of things. They go above and beyond. They're not just like, oh, just read the manufacturer's instructions. It's like they really go above and beyond. And then anytime they ask any sort of artistic video from anyone on the team, there is no like, say this, do that, use this. It's like, I don't know, Jill, show me how you highlight hair. I'm like, cool, okay, so it's very authentic. And I've been approached by a couple smaller things here and there, and I'm nervous to put anything out there that I'm like, I've never used it, I don't know it, I don't know what it's gonna do, I don't know if it's gonna turn out. So there is a true authenticity with the Joico line and the people,
Definitely. Like it was talking about the family vibe, and that's literally every single person. Every week we're on here talking about Joico, and everybody talks about that vibe that we've all got. And no matter where we are in the world, we've all got that. And when you were just saying about the trust they give us as artists and hairdressers, it's the first company really that, like you just said, I had to do the new Joyful range.
Yeah.
Me and David Murray had to come up with a concept for 2 colours and 2 cuts.
Yeah.
And I did the colours, and they were basically like, show me how to make volume in hair with colour. And I was like, okay. And then just went off and we did it. And like something really incredible happened. So, but that's the trust they give you. It's not like you say, like with some companies, it's like, right, we want this, and you have to do it this way, this way, this way, so we can then market it. Yeah. And then come across authentic, like you just said. So I get that completely.
Yeah. I think there's 2 things there. That number one, I worked for 2 big brands, and usually when something comes out, they will say, right, this is the story. I want you to learn this story. Yeah. You can present it in your way, but this is our story.
Yeah.
With Joico is that there's the product. Yeah. Don't play with it. Now come back with the story.
Yeah, they're like, now go create the story. Exactly.
Go find out how it works and tell me your experience with it. And when I come to Paul, because Paul mentioned he did this collection with David Murray, this 3V. Like David Murray is like, he's just a great guy, and he's such a generous educator. He just gives away everything, I've stolen so many of his ideas. He's one of my favorite people. I spoke to him today, actually. I speak to David quite regularly. He's just a great friend, a great human being. Yeah. And that's the first time I knew that Paul was working with David. And then Paul came up with this collection, with 3V collection. And Paul came up with a color technique, which I'd never heard before, but I was totally love it, because it's his story and how he tells it was so powerful that it actually made me think it made hair coloring completely. I understood it for the first time. I was like, I totally get this, because I don't color hair in the salon. I only cut.
You will be now.
I will be now. So Paul, you can tell Jill exactly what you did with the 3V that made me look at color differently, and what was your story?
But yeah, my story was like I was working on this sort of concept for probably 5 years. I've been back with Joico for 2 years. I was with Joico previous. Yeah. I was an artist for another brand, American brand, and I was working on it, and the whole contour thing where people are contouring hair. Okay. But all I ever got from it was, here's a dark bit, which is the contour, and here's the light bit, which is the highlighter.
Sure.
But then looking deeper into how girls come up with makeup patterns, I'll just let you know I can't do makeup. I'm not a makeup artist.
He's a liar. I'm telling you, he can do it.
I can't. So I'm looking at the structure in which you apply contour makeup, and I broke it all down and then put it into hair. And then when you're looking at points of interest to thin or open up, and then that's what really made it click with Ian. Like, you know, that black and white silhouette dress?
Sure.
Just like, yeah. So I've got all of this in my presentation that I draw all of this to create this one look. And it's just, we all do it. We all look at reflex and depth and that. But I think the story is the powerful thing, isn't it, Ian? That goes with it.
And then he came up with this bowl, which had 4 compartments, exactly like you'd get your makeup palette. Like a makeup palette. And so it was like 4, and I was like, oh my God, this is genius.
It clicked. Yeah.
But it was such a story, and he was allowed, what I loved, he was allowed to say that.
Yeah.
And he was allowed to present it as his own. And it was like so inspiring. It wasn't like, this is the company line, this is what we do, and this is how we say it. You can only do it this way. It was like handcuffs off, and now go and create.
Yeah.
But they trust you to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm actually doing it on the 5th of July on Facebook Live for Joico Europe.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I got to watch it for
That's
sure.
That's a plug.
Yeah.
Give it a plug.
I'll send you the link.
I love that.
So you've just come back from, it's the first week back in the salon, and you're back at the old castle location, or the location you call the castle.
We do.
So, and how is it? How have you been settling in?
It's been good, actually. I think we did a lot of pre-salon meetings. We took, while we were closed up, we took time to, a few of us at a time would go in and check out the space, see how it flows, move our stuff in, so everything was pretty easy. And then we have quite a few new restrictions as far as like cleaning goes, you know, that sort of stuff. So just really taking the time to prep our stations and prep the salon as a whole made that first week so much smoother. Wearing a mask is definitely very different, wearing gloves as much as possible. So we just really kind of took an extra week. We probably could have opened a week earlier, but we took the extra time and really figured out, okay, what does my booking look like now? Like how long will a haircut actually take me now that I need to add in time to disinfect? They're going to be in their car waiting for me. They need to get their temperature checked. We need to make sure they have a mask, you know, just things like that. They add into your service time. And I would say the first few days I probably had too much time, but it was nice because then I got to go outside and take my mask off for a second, or like into our break room. So I actually might keep it how it is. And it is, I don't know about you guys, but quarantine really showed me like how to slow down and just to like be okay with a calmer day and some empty time, you know? Like I was like, oh, it's not so bad when things are quiet around me, you know? So I'm going to try to take that as much as possible and move it into my salon days. It's more time with your clients. It's kind of peaceful, honestly. So it's been really good.
And so you're wearing masks now. Is that compulsory at the moment?
Are we, sorry, what? Are we doing what?
Wearing masks, like a face mask.
Oh, yeah.
Is that compulsory?
Yeah, so I think that I'm trying to remember exactly what all of our specific guidelines are. At one point, they've changed so much within California specifically because we're in such a highly populated area that we had the most cases for West Hollywood. So we originally had to do the face mask this way, then the shield over the top, plus the gloves. Now I'm pretty sure it's back to mask only. So we got these cute 901 masks. We had them specially made so that, you know, they're safe and all of that. Trying to stick with the branding and still be as fun as possible, you know. But yeah, it's been okay. It's different. It's definitely different. You know, you have to get used to it, but it's been good. So
I think when we spoke to Olivia, I think it was Olivia Paul with the mask. She was the one that put the hair slide. Have you been doing that, or have you been?
Well, ours are cloth around here, and then the filter is inside the cloth.
Okay.
So they've been pretty good. And then we have like a metal thing that's built into the cloth so it bends around your nose. And then we can just throw them in the washing machine.
Oh my God.
So they've been pretty good. I mean, it's definitely I almost think maybe you get a little more tired or something. I can't figure it out. Or that we haven't been doing hair in 2.5 months. I don't know. But sometimes I take that thing off and I'm like, whew, like I feel like I just worked 12 hours and I'm only 2 clients in, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's something to that, like with it, you know, you're not taking deeper breaths or something. But
yeah, I touched on it in my last YouTube video because
yeah.
I've got a meeting coming tomorrow about this whole guideline thing.
Yes.
But one of the things is we're taking in so much more carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So when
it's
you're
real. It's
when
a real thing.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that we have to make sure that we are taking enough breaks or allowing enough time, because you're going to fatigue sort of like 20% quicker.
So crazy. Okay, so I am not crazy then. That thinking I'm like, oh, well, what is wrong with me? I've been doing hair forever and I can't make it through 2 people.
Yeah, it's the lack of oxygen. So yeah, like if you get time to take it off, take it off. If you're like mixing color, take it off, then don't put it back on until you're with a client, because I don't know the percentage. I might look into it actually, but how much restriction or how much carbon dioxide is kept in your mask rather than oxygen, because
I'm curious too. I work with an assistant, and so it's kind of things like when she's mixing for me, then I pop upstairs. We have like an upstairs lounge area just for the stylist, and that's where we take our masks off so we're not around each other doing it.
Yeah.
And then same thing for her. Then when sometimes I'm applying, she'll run up there and take a break or whatever too. So that's kind of actually an interesting thing with working with an assistant. We have a few stylists that are going to start sharing an assistant specifically for that, to get a little break in. So they don't want to do a full-time one on their own. And I think for people that haven't worked with one before, you can at least share the cost of an assistant. Do 2 or 3 of you in the salon and share one, and just give yourself an extra minute here or there, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we get to experience it, but
this is a great question from Lee Shaw. Lee's a good friend of ours. And she's a great in her own right. She's a great colorist as well and a good hairdresser. So her question is, what's next for Jill? Any new goals?
I am such a goal person, and I change my goals all the time, and then I add, take away, all of that. So what's up next for me this year? The big one was being a part of the Joyco team exclusively. That was something I had been really hoping for in my career, but also same thing like picking an agency. I wanted to make sure I was with the right brand that kind of understood me. I'm so grateful and so lucky to have connected with Joyco. So that for sure, it's looking a little different this year because I'm not traveling like I should have been. But it forced my goal to be, instead of connecting with people by traveling to them, it forced me to figure out how to do these online videos, you guys. I'm like, talking to my phone. I'm like, what am I doing? Editing, all that. This stuff takes so long. But I still was like, listen, my original goal was to go connect across the country with people, and I don't want this to stop me. So that was a big one for me. I'm producing anywhere from 3 to 6 videos a month. And so to get better at that, that's definitely a goal of mine. And then my agency work, I would say that's all going to start looking a lot different. Production crews are going to be a lot smaller. So I'm going to try to move my agency kind of goal was lots of red carpets, right? Because that's what gets you so much press. I'm going to kind of move into just doing color for celebrities. So because we probably won't have as many press tours that we used to have. So it's going to be doing big color changes for clients that will, like for example, I have one client that's on a show where she's a redhead, and on the other show that she films, she's a blonde. So, kind of taking on jobs like that. So
not naturally, but colored, not wigs or wigs.
Color.
Is it?
It's color. The thing that is good about it is she films one full season, and then she's off, and then she goes to the next show. So
Wow.
then she's off for that one. So I have time in between where we can get her hair healthy. And then, you know, I have strict rules with her. It's like, you use this shampoo, you do this, you only wash this many times. And then we take her back and forth. So, but yeah, I think those are probably my biggest goals for the remainder of this year. They had to shift a little, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
So she went out there to see Larissa, and she popped into the salon.
Oh, good. Oh man, I wish I would have met her. That's so cool.
Yeah. Lee she works with Joico here as well in the UK. So she's one of our clients here. She's great. She is so driven in what she does, and she's doing a phenomenal job. She's growing and growing. So she's got a great story too. So I spoke with her on Instagram about 2 weeks ago, and that's just like, I can speak to her all day. She's just a lovely person. So, going into that, one of the things I was going to ask you about goals particularly is that, do you write down your goals? Do you plan them as such, or do you just let them evolve naturally, or do you write down specifically, this is what I want to achieve, by this, by that? Are you a planning type of person?
I'm very much a planner. As much as I am like an artist, I'm such a type A person where I can't fall asleep at night if I haven't written it down or stuck a Post-it note on something, you know, to be like, okay, this goes there. And I think too, because I'm juggling, you know, being a mom as well, so working full time, doing both the kids. So I write down everything. I usually use like the notes section in my phone. And I have it even broken down to like when I have a random thought for an Instagram video that I want to do or something, you know, a technique, I write that down instantly. So that way I can go back and kind of like add on to it. Sometimes, I don't know, I come up with things where I'm going to invent something. I'm not sure where that comes from, but I literally put down every thought because I just am not sure what it would evolve to one day, you know? So yes, I don't usually do dates, but I do years. So within the year, like I have like my 1 year and I have my 5-year goal that I do those for sure. So, yeah.
So are you a bit of a law of attraction person, or do you get that thing, or do you just do it naturally?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely would say so. And more so now that I am based in LA, because everything here is about who you know, who you've connected with. And that's why I can't stress to people enough how your first impression makes all the difference in the world. And you were kind of talking about that earlier, where you feel like people who are lower on the totem pole don't kind of act like they're, you know, not. And my thing is always like, just come in and just be willing to do anything. So sometimes for my clients, I'll steam their shirt, even though I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but it's like, I'm here to help. I'm here to be a part of the team and to show you guys, like, you know, and that has gotten me farther with jobs, to be honest. I've become friends with publicists because of it. And they're like, dude, if you're easy to have on set, then you're coming with us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so I absolutely feel like, you know, whatever you put out into the world is what you're going to attract.
Yeah. I've kind of worked, again, sometimes you go into like you get new people come onto the brand and they're trying it out, or they're on a tryout for a brand, and they become quite diva-ish, or they quite, you know, they have a too overpowering personality and they're not really gelling with the team. And they think they're being like creative, and they're actually being disruptive. And they don't understand them why they don't get the gig, you know. Why didn't I get that?
Right.
You know?
And they almost take too much pride in their work sometimes, when it kind of goes back to the 80-20 thing. You know, it's like, yes, we have to produce good work, but that can be learned. And if you can't gel with the team, or even the photographer, for example, because as a hairstylist, I'm jumping in and out of that photo constantly. If there's a fly up there or whatever. And if I now start to, you know, either, you know, annoy that photographer, or I'm not jumping in respectfully, it's going to translate then into other jobs that maybe I would work with that photographer. If that photographer is hired by Paramount or ABC or whatever, it all connects. As much as you think you're not connected to the camera guy, you are,
Yeah. I think you set the tone. And I think even now, if I do like a cutting seminar, whatever I'll do it, at the break, when everybody breaks to go for like a coffee break, I'll always get the sweeping brush and I sweep everybody's stations.
There you go. Yeah.
And it's just to make a point.
Yeah.
And because I want people then to be, well, if he can do it, I can clean my station after me. Usually I only have to do it once. Because most people, especially when you travel, like I love traveling a lot with it around Europe. I go to Italy, for instance, one of my favorite places. And I'll do it in Italy. And then they're like, no, you never do that again. They'll assign somebody to do it or they'll get people to do their own. But my thing is, no, I'm not here to like take advantage. I'm here to share and I'm here to help and I'm here to I'm helping in every way.
Yeah.
And I think, but that's not just my experience. Like I know Paul does it. I know David does it. I know the whole team have the same culture. Yes, we have. And it's not like it makes us any better. It just means that we're part of it and we understand it. I think that's the difference.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm working with photographers and stuff. Yeah, even though like me, like we have an awards ceremony here, the British Hairdressing Awards. And when you shoot for that, it's a very, very expensive thing to do. And you hire the best photographer you can afford, the best makeup artist, the best stylist.
Yeah.
And even on that, I'm always like, even though I'm paying for the job, it's my money, but I'm still like really respectful for the people.
Yeah.
Because number one, I like to build relationships with them and I want to work with them again. And I want them to want to work with me. And the models especially, I love to spoil the models because models generally are treated so badly.
Yeah.
And I think whenever they come to work with Helmond in Holland, our headquarters, I always want to leave them wanting to come back, knowing if they ever come back to our HQ, they're going to be safe, they're going to be looked after, they're going to be listened to. And so now we have this huge model bank of people say, oh, Joico, you're fine. You can go work for them. They're cool,
Yeah, they love it, don't they?
Yeah. And I think that's something that the whole team does.
Yeah.
Because if a model is happy, she'll just perform for you,
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about, I think. And those are the little things that are the little learns. Paul, have you had any more questions come in? Because I can see we've got quite a few people up there.
It was just one of the things, because we've only got a few minutes, but there's something else I want to touch on as well after.
Go.
Like, what are you most proud of in your career so far?
Oh man, that's a great question too. What am I the most proud of? Okay, this maybe doesn't have a lot to do with hair, but I think I'm the most proud of my balance, honestly, like working full time and getting the opportunities that I've had, and then being home with my kids. Like I still work in their classroom every week. I help check in library books at their school. So I'm just proud that I haven't had to sacrifice one thing in order to have another. And I think that it took me a little bit to figure out, okay, where do I say yes and where do I say no? And I think that I'm always going to progressively have to work on that. But yeah, I mean, of course, I think in the hair world, I think I'm proud of where I'm at with my agency. I am one of the only moms that is, where I'm at, because sometimes you have to choose. Actually, a lot of times you have to choose. And I kind of just wanted to really find a way where I didn't have to do that to still then be quote unquote successful, in the LA world. So yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, you've totally nailed that.
Yeah.
That kind of balance by being a mom and kind of looking after the kids, but also you are like a really badass hairdresser, like go-getter, So there's definitely two sides to you, I think, aren't there?
Yeah, I joke a lot with my friends out here that I have two lives because out in LA, no one thinks I have kids. Everyone, and a lot of people at the salon, they forget that I have kids all the time. Just now recently, over the last 2 years, we finally have 2 more stylists that have kids. But you know, I'm like doing middle school and fractions and chemistry, and they're doing, you know, bottles and diapers. So it's just very different situation for sure. But
it's one of the hardest things. I mean, I still haven't cracked it at all. Balance. No, I'm still 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Everything's work.
Yes.
Everything revolves around work. And I mean, coronavirus and this lockdown has given me a different perspective, definitely a mindset change. And I think I'll try and embrace it once the rush is gone.
Sure.
Because it's going to be, well,
yeah.
Crazy.
I think we've got a really good friend who watches most of the lives. His name is John Lewis Moore, and he's a really good friend. I've known Lewis in the industry for 25 years maybe, and he lives in the other side of the country, but we're really close friends. And he always says to me, because I only work 3 days in the salon, and I do education, I do other things on the other days. Sure. So normally if he calls me, I'm usually in the car, or I'm in a coffee shop, or I'm doing something. And he said, you know, I've checked in the dictionary for the definition of work-life balance, and it says, see Ian Davis.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So, but I think that I've been in the industry for 40 years or 42 years.
Okay.
So, and Paul, like when Paul was at his age, I was exactly the same. And I think that's how me and Paul have connected, because I see so much of what he's doing with the ambition is what I've done. But I'm also, it's infectious, because you started off this live by saying, just say yes to things, you know, just say yes and get it done, get yes. And this afternoon, Paul, me and Paul were having a telephone conversation, and I said, you know, man, you know, I've been spoken to what we're doing, and I've started a YouTube channel, I'm doing things where I'm doing, and I said, and I've just started to say yes again to things, whereas I kind of stopped. I thought I'm doing it too long. I've kind of like, who wants to listen to this old guy? Who wants to do this stuff? But now I've started to say yes to a lot more things. More opportunities are opening up. More things are coming. I'm like really excited. And there's a project we're working on that we would definitely love you to be involved with. This for next year.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
I was just going to, because we've had Laura, who's watched every week, every live. And as we were opening up, she goes, "You're going to tell us your secret tonight?"
No, we're not.
We're not.
But
when we're backstage, we'll tell you, Jill.
Yes.
Yeah. We've got a meeting. Well, we've got a few meetings, haven't we, to discuss it all? But not yet. Not yet. We've still got a few hoops to jump through, I think.
Yeah. Well, we have in one respect, but in another respect, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
But the way it's going to work and how it's going to be supported, well, that isn't quite that's up in the air, but it's happening anyway. We know it's happening for sure. So it's just about getting it in. So that was like, we always say this. I know it sounds really glib, but that was like one of the quickest hours ever.
Yeah. It goes by so fast. The first time I ever did a live, you guys, I was freaking out. I didn't sleep the night before. And I'm like, you know, Joyco's like, yeah, you do this, do that, whatever. I'm like, I have dogs running through my house, children. I was panicked, but it does go by really fast.
Yeah, it's been really good. And we were saying this earlier on, the same thing, actually. Like we always say how quickly it goes, but I think once you get, it's because of the connections, it's because of how we all react to different things, and like an hour just never seem long enough.
Well, good for you guys, man. Connecting, I love this. This is such a cool platform, and I love that you guys are so far away and we're still connected.
What do you mean you love us so far away? You should be saying you love us to be closer.
I know. I want to come see you guys. I want to come work with you guys out there.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be a dream. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We wanted to stay on. So when we come off, we wanted to stay on. We don't want to go away yet. We just want a quick chat with you anyway. Paul, how would you like to conclude?
Just thank you again. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Jill. It's been lovely.
Absolutely.
Jill, it's finally good to almost meet you, but and honestly to learn all the things you're doing, and actually the standard you set for aspiring hairdressers and the way that you conduct yourself is just exemplary and is such a huge, you should be so proud of that, and such a huge credit for you, because that's one of my team actually. Working with Jill would be amazing. So that's one of my team, Shawnee. I got to tell you quickly before you go off, Shawnee is one of my team. She's been with me for 5 years now, and she is one of the most talented colorists I've ever come across. But you know what? She still doesn't get it.
Yeah,
she still doesn't believe she is. I'm like, oh my God, the things she comes up with, the techniques and ideas she has, but she just thinks, I'm just doing my thing. It's like, yeah, but it's unbelievable,
Well, that's exactly what makes it so cool, and why every hairstylist is worth, showing what they know. Everyone says, oh, it's so oversaturated, and it's like, but we have such different brains. We all see something so differently. So I always encourage people, put it out there. Like, she's embarrassed.
She actually's got to own it. That's all I wanted to do, is own it, because honestly, she is such a talent. She is such a talent. I've 40 years in the industry. I've worked with about maybe 4 or 5 colorists in my salon that I can say that these guys are at the highest level, and she is one, and she just doesn't believe me. I'm like, you've got to believe me. Honestly, I'm not lying to you. You're just incredible.
Yeah.
And just so much knowledge, and she's such a lovely way with her. She reminds me of you, actually. So that's really cool.
I'd love to meet her.
Well, we'll have to arrange it. That's the next thing.
Yay.
Okay. Right. Thank you, everybody. We're back on Friday. We've got Sherry.
Yes, Sherry Patton
on Friday, and then we're back next. We've got another Jill next Monday. We've got our Jill. So Jill from the UK team.
Jill Berry.
I'm sorry.
Jill Berry's on. So we're going to speak to you shortly. Don't go away.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.